Hey y'all, welcome back to Twin Oaks Family Farm in rural Southeast Ohio, USA. Thanks for joining us on our YouTube channel, Twin Oaks Farm Poultry. Please subscribe if you haven't. It's January 26, 2024, and we're just taking a look at the egg production flock. Actually, this is probably our last check of the evening. It's getting later in the day. Not quite dusk yet. We just closed up a pen of pullets. So pullets are young hens that aren't laying just yet. We have 32 production reds that are in a pen of pullets that initially, when they start laying, they'll be added into our egg production flock, but they're ultimately going to be replacement hens for the hens that we have now. For the most part, we have 34 chickens in here. Two of these chickens are older gals that somehow they've just managed to stay on from flock to flock whenever the older hens, which for us, older hens, we're talking like a 2-year-old set of hens. But when they get to be that age, we're ready to rehome them in hopes that we find them a place where they're in a backyard chicken flock where they're laying eggs for household consumption. And that moves them off of our little farm and allows us to continue having young hens as the primary layers in our egg production operation. So those 32 production reds will be the replacement hens for the 32 that will end up moving on, and chances are those two older gals that are here will keep them, so we'll point them out. But it's a lavender Orpington and like an Easter egger Americana. They've just stayed on from flock to flock. So anyway, we'll take a look at them. Actually, we've got some gals right here. So there's the little outdoor run, and as you can see, it's bare ground. We did this outdoor run for this group of chickens over the summer of 2023. It's very small. They've got all the vegetation off of it, and we want to give them some more room. In fact, there's the Americana that's like an Easter egg. I don't know if y'all can see her beside the white one. Now the silver one, gray one, blue one going up the ramp there, she is a pretty hen, and I hope we get to see her up close because she does a behavior that I would like to show y'all sometime. She kind of like squats, like in a squat position, and that's interesting to see because if you recognize that squat position and you pay attention to young hens that are close to laying, like when you're in a pen of pullets, when they're getting to the point of lay, they'll do that. There's that Easter egger. She was flapping her wings back there. But so kind of getting back to thinking about our hens here and the spring coming up and the summer coming up. My husband said yesterday, are we going to be building fence this weekend? So we're talking about building maybe out here where this fallow garden is, maybe extending some chicken fence. Ultimately, I'd like to fence in that entire fallow garden and end up dividing it like into several runs for the chickens so we can actually rotate them around it and give some of it time to recover when they've gotten the vegetation down. So what we're going to do here is let these chickens actually come outside. So these chickens are typically indoors all day. They do have their little run attached to their coop, but they love to come outside. It's a love-hate ordeal between them and us when they come outside to free range, because inevitably this group of chickens wants to go to our front porch and we don't want them there. So it's mud season. This is the season between winter and spring. But I ended up having to dig out some of the footing here. This was getting so muddy. We had freezing and snow last week, and then it warmed up, and it's been raining for all week of this week, and so it was just really muddy. So I had to do that and put some footing down there. So I'm just going to open the door and let these gals out, and then we'll take a look in the coop and see what's going down. So they love to come out. We'll try to get a look at them. And right away, instead of going over to the right from us to where it's just grassy and open, they're headed to the left of us as you're looking at them. So they will stop and consume the grass. So I do like to try to let them out. We don't give these gals the privilege of all day free range for one thing, we want them staying off of our front porch, but for another thing, we have bobcats, we have hawks, we have predators that will get them during the day. So if they can't be supervised, it's really not a safe situation for them to be totally free ranging on their own. But if I can let them out close to dusk where they'll stay close to their coop and they won't be out super long, and we know they'll head home when it's getting darker, then we feel a little better about letting them free range. This is a lavender Orpington. She's the oldest in the flock, so she's one that she's just kept over as we cycle through replacement hens. And here's this. Well, there's a white leghorn. They're great. We have 2 of them. They lay, oh, there's the other one. They lay really sturdy, nice eggs. There's this little Easter egger Americana. She has little tufts of feathers coming straight out to the left and to the right on the other side of her beak. And that little chicken, sometimes, if she thinks we're going to get her, she'll make this behavior. I'm not trying to chase her, but I wanted to see if she'd do that. Hi, girl. Well, we probably won't get to see it on this video, but I would like y'all to see that because it ended up working. In fact, my friend at the feed mill at Beverly Feed and Equipment, where we get pretty much all of our chicken resources, all the consumable chicken resources, she told me that she had learned when pullets are close to the point of lay, when you like put your hand down over their back and start to lower your hand like you're going to touch their back, they will actually like just spread their wings just a bit and squat. And that's kind of an indicator that they are close to the point of lay. And you know what? It panned out true. It worked. It panned out really true. So anyway, she usually does that though still, even though she's already a consistent layer, but it's interesting. So I don't think we'll get to see that today, but I've told you about it and you can try that out. There's some, I don't know if y'all will see them, see the geese? We could hear them. So they are actually flying south. They're going the right direction for flying south. But see how the chickens reacted? A lot of them went toward the coop. And you'll see that in your own chickens too, if you are raising chickens. They are very aware, hypersensitive to anything overhead, because overhead predators are a big deal if you're a chicken. So, so they're super aware of overhead predators, and that's been our observation with our girls. If they even sense an overhead predator, they are back to the coop. Now, when we've had flocks that ran with a rooster, the rooster, is a protective factor for them. So they are a little bolder if they have a rooster with them. And we have definitely noticed that flocks that have a rooster with them will range farther from their chicken coop. That's been our experience here. But still, even with a rooster with them, if they feel threatened by any threat, but especially an overhead threat that they perceive, they head back to the coop. So we've already checked all the eggs for today. I don't think we'll get any more eggs for today. They do lay a bunch under there, and our girls all utilize the nest boxes. We had eggs in every nest today. We had a floor egg right in here earlier, and we sometimes get that. A floor egg will happen when we call it that, when they lay the egg on the floor instead of at a nesting site or in a nesting box. And what we'll observe is that when a chicken wants to use a nesting site that there's already another hen using, sometimes we'll end up with a floor egg because she didn't wait, for the nest. And that's, that's why, like, sometimes when the hens go broody, it kind of causes a disruption in the flock, because if one will like get on a clutch of eggs, say here, and just sit there and sit there and sit there and never move, the other hens that want to use that nest box get impatient, and they may not want to lay their eggs somewhere else. So they kind of seem to be creatures of habit to me. We got 30 eggs out of this flock today. We're not going to add more feed for tonight. We're going to let them clean up what's in there, and we don't need to add more water. It's over half full. We're going to let it be. We do have 2 heat lamps on from when it was cold. I think we're going to turn this one off here. We'll unplug it. So And they're working on their flock blocks, their snack box. So they're doing good.